So as good as some of the news actually is with altcoins, what if this is going to take a while for it to happen? So I've been talking a lot about herd mentality. I've been talking about the positive bullish news, but I have also been talking about key levels that I think, especially with Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., need to be broken before we start getting, let's just be honest here, new people returning. We need liquidity, we need the hype, we need elements of scarcity, which we are starting to see, but again, Q3 could be absolutely boring. What we don't need is YouTubers spreading the wrong message at the wrong time, getting you into a position where it might compromise you. I'm going to do a video on the opposite to what most people think right now. So I covered this yesterday, talking about history suggests that Bitcoin will rebound in July, and I don't disagree with that. The data is very strong. What I didn't show you was actually something else. Later on in said article, we have this. Now, I've zoomed in a little bit so you can see it. We talk a lot about the summers, and the summers are, on the most part, shit. August is traditionally a shit month. September is also relatively shit most of the time. October, November, December is what I am more interested in, and we might be getting that situation again where we've already had a bit of a run into a summer. Every single one of these, apart from the obvious bear markets, we have got a summer of a, summer period, then a run, right? Run before the summer period. You get the idea? Similar sort of vibe, obviously bear market. Again, this massive nuke in the summer. Similar sort of vibe here, similar sort of vibe here. You get the idea where it's very similar, where often you find there's a bit of a bottom in June, but what I'm more interested in the fact of is we bottom in June, then we retrace up, and then we go even lower short term, or it catches people out, right? I feel if there's going to be a rebound, people will get caught out. The reason why I think that there's that much information, that much news is bullish news. Now, obviously, the Ethereum ETF, we can talk about that. We could talk about, obviously, global liquidity, which we will talk about. But I do think we are getting to a point where, oh my God, bull market's here. But halving's only just kind of been and gone, right? The reality is here, it is currently Bitcoin season. The Bitcoin narrative is very, very strong. Bitcoin's holding station, altcoins are not doing much, and dominance is still high. We will cover that in more detail in a second. But let's just look at this. So when we look at the obvious here, there's probably is a buy signal here somewhere in terms of you buy the lows and you're waiting for the tops, right? Yeah, obviously. The reality is here, this is the history in terms of the past, right? This whole region back in the earlier days, and it's kind of obvious, the summer was very much a Bitcoin season, all the way into pretty much August into September time. Nothing really happened. Now, we might be getting that again. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that we will get an alt season. It's just a matter of fact. It's very hard to time. What timing does give you is, that situation where the price gets to a certain point and hype returns. We've had that at the start of this year. Going down here, this is what the market looks like. Now, there's some assets that are doing relatively okay versus Bitcoin. You can see this. This is Bitcoin in black and everything else below it. Now, some stuff, not massively down, right? Even, you can see Near Protocol, not down too much. Link, XRP, etc. There's some stuff that are doing very well. Ton is the main one. But most of these are actually meme coins, realistically. You got, obviously, Pepe, you got Bonk. Obviously, BNB's doing all right. Ethereum's doing all right with the Ethereum news. So, yeah, it's really isn't time for an alt season yet, anyways. We've also got to look at what is Bitcoin doing. Now, I've got on my screen, and you can't see that just yet, is the rainbow chart. Now, what's important to note here is Bitcoin is in a level of potential accumulation zone. We are ranging, and when we talk about the market cycles and the distribution of cycles, that becomes important. So when we look at this, obviously we're at this kind of level here where this is a really good situation to look at because we can look at the halving in terms of the past. Let's do that. Halving here. What happened? Oh, wow, okay, not a lot. Funny enough, we had a weird summer and it kind of pulled back into this level. Let's look at the previous one. This one went lower and then we took a long time and then we went vroom. Again, similar sort of situation here. Not a lot happens. Funny enough, that scarcity and demand element is a bit of a long drawn process. It takes time. And this is a problem that I have with a lot of YouTubers at the minute. As much as I've been covering it as well, yeah, the news is bullish, but the price isn't. Why isn't the price moving? I've did videos on that. I've did videos around the news, but ultimately, why isn't certain things happening? Why, when Bitcoin is dropping, why isn't dominance rising? Why is the opposite way around? You know, when Bitcoin is pumping, why isn't dominance falling? You know, it's kind of, whoa, okay. So what we are into, in my opinion here, is potentially the still cheap and accumulation zone and buy zones. We have been in those levels for a long time. We are almost in basically a fire sale. We are almost in Bitcoin. No, we're not really. I'm joking, but you get the idea. We are very much in that situation where Bitcoin is accumulating. This is obviously interesting. Liquidity. We are coming into a point of liquidity turning. We're at this point now where it has potentially bottomed and we're going to go up. Now, there's potential rate cuts that could affect the market. There's obviously other elements around that could be important, i.e., what if banks go bankrupt? You know, what about if the SEC sues certain things? You know, there's so many unknown truths, but what we need is liquidity to allow this to happen. The problem we have, and this is obvious, let me get your focus because I think this bit's important. There's a lot more altcoins in 2021. 2020, there's a lot more altcoins. A lot more altcoins. So there's not going to be enough money to go around. The strongest and the fittest will survive, and the best altcoins will do well. I think the top 50 will be very, very interesting. I don't think you're going to start seeing some random coin that you can buy, which is in page number 3,000, whatever, in freaking CoinMarketCap that's going to pump your bags. Meme coins will have that effect in certain vibes, but I think it's very much a lottery going down there. Liquidity will gravitate to certain things. The top assets, the best product. Things like Chainlink could be speculative guessing, but it could be a potential ETF in the future. Likes of Cardano, likes of Polkadot, AVAX, they've all had little nuanced newses about certain things around Coinbase futures listings. That's like, okay, that's a bit of a step in the right direction. You will probably find more stuff like that happening. So yeah, we have to be somewhat careful. When we talk about obviously this is huge. And if liquidity will return in 2025, well, guess where it's going to go? Probably a slice of the pie will go into cryptocurrency assets. We also need to talk about market cycles. And if you know me and you follow my channel, please subscribe. It would be nice. Also, check out my X account because I talk a lot about this in terms of markup, distribution, markdown. I think we're in accumulation phase. We've not had that initial markup yet. We've had a tester, we've had a baby run, but altcoins are still getting smashed, right? Especially in the BTC pair. This is kind of what it looks like in simple terms. You've probably seen other graphs that are a bit more complicated, but this is kind of how things go. Things go up, things go down. Basically, the bits in the middle is accumulation zones, and we have distribution of taking profit. Remember, guys, taking profit. If you want more videos on me doing profit videos and stuff like that and stuff like this, let me know because that's kind of what I'm better at, in my opinion anyways. So we need to get that out of the way, but I've already talked about it. Bitcoin is potentially in an accumulation zone. We could be going lower and it could accumulate even more. Altcoins, what are they doing? Not a lot. Maybe accumulation? Probably, yeah. I hate the world of, I really do hate YouTube. I do. I've already mentioned it before on my Patreon and my MMQs. If you've seen that free video, you've probably seen one of the questions. I probably won't be doing YouTube once it cycles over. I probably will do very, very limited YouTube video content. It's just too much. The problem we have is already you can see on these two examples, last time to buy, altcoins confirmed to bottom, you know, huge buy sig, all these kind of stuff is like crazy numbers. There is some stuff on here when you put on altcoins that is not kind of bullish, like obviously Kieran's here. That's fine. Problem we got is there's too much going on. When we get to a point where literally, and this is going to be the God's of truth here, when you do bullish content about certain altcoins that are going to pump and certain things and all that kind of stuff, they get views because people are interested. People want to make money. You guys probably watch my channel through a certain video what may have got your interest because it looks good and maybe making money. It's a lot harder than that, right? So they will continuously do bullish content that will allow people to get involved via views, and that makes them feel good. YouTubers feel good by getting views and by comments and likes, right? We do, because when we put the effort in, we want it to do well for obvious reasons. And I fell into that trap a long time ago where I was doing certain types of content, which was doing okay. This is back in 2021, but it didn't make me feel good. I like psychological videos. I like covering news and information about technical analysis, what I think and my opinion of the market is. That's kind of what I like to do. But some people like to speculate on other people's opinions, right? And therefore doing a video around it, that's fine. But when the overall message could be very much skewed due to, oh, it's just going to go up because it's July, that could mislead people, and that could be where the problem lies. So we have to be so careful. So when you're looking on YouTube, I've often said this, don't follow too many people, because you will get a lot of skewed information and you're going to have to make a wrong decision. You're going to be absolutely scrambled. And that could lead to you going, well, I've gone down the wrong avenue here. So let's look at Bitcoin in a general kind of sense, right? This is the previous halving. You can see here how we've done nothing for a very long time over the summer. July, we bounced up and then we pulled back into August and we went higher. Now, if we're going to simulate that again, we could be looking at a similar sort of situation or the same sort of period, which could lead us to about basically September time. Now, that isn't a wrong thing. We are at levels of, well, mid-range at the minute. Obviously, we've been at levels of support. This 60K level has to hold. Whether you like it or not, it has to hold. Now, when we talk about that, we need to talk about the next leg. I've been talking very openly. If you follow me on X, my pinned post is patience is required. The next leg will send people in, and I talk about it in terms of dumb money will come into the market at 83K. That is my fundamental belief, because I know it happens, and it has happened. Even this year it's happened, right? Why? We went all the way from this level, which is 28K, up to 40K. We pulled back from 48 all the way into 38, and then very quickly went from 38,000, sorry, all the way up to 73. What happened? Everything fucking went mental, didn't it? Yes, it did, boys and girls. Why? People were talking about the parabolic nature of it and the left translated cycle and information around that, and we were going to all make it. Turns out that left translated cycle stuff didn't happen. We have pulled back quite aggressively, and we're looking relatively good. We are probably going to be a bit crappy for a while. I think that anyways, unless, caveat to all this, something major changes, i.e. liquidity is drawn in. There's fear in the stock market and people looking for an alternative. Bitcoin will pull the market up. It is very much a Bitcoin cycle right now. So that will change the game. So for me, we're talking 83,000 for the mania herd to come in. Ethereum is very similar. We are very much in a bullish trend, but we're starting to show signs of weakness. We've formed a lower high, we've pulled off this level, and we are potentially going to go and retest a level a bit higher, and then we might come down lower. There's rumors already of, I believe, the 4th of July, maybe, or maybe a bit later than that, is ETF day. That's only 2 days away, I know, but that might be all bollocks. So we'll need to wait and see. That could send us lower, could be a lot of liquidity and much lower for Ethereum. Again, though, the next leg up from this correction could well be here. Now, for me, I think this has failed. So I think this is out of date. So if we're going to reassemble this and put it all together again, which actually, let's just do that. It makes more sense. So if we're looking at the overall situation, in my opinion, if we are looking at this low to this high, this is what I think is kind of somewhat outdated. We've already went and corrected it. We've formed a new lower high. We might go and retest it. Yes, it's feasible. We go and retest this level again, and this could be the all-time high retest. What could happen as well is the opposite is, well, what about from this low into, well, we've already went and retested the 618 levels. Are we going to go up to the 618 levels up here, which again equals all-time high? So there's a lot of kind of pressure around the Fibonacci to kind of go, you know what, maybe it might happen. We might go 618 to 618. That could happen. And this could just be a continuation. It's a higher series of higher lows, and we're going to continue going up. It's looking unlikely because we formed a lower high here. But as I say, ETF could change fucking everything here. So we've got to look at that as a situation. So yeah, Ethereum is a very, very interesting one. And again, we've got to look at the obvious. This is a total 3 chart. From the low to the high, we pulled back and we're currently on the 382. Yeah, it's just a freaking metric, I know. But ultimately, this doesn't look great. It looks like it's going to consolidate. It doesn't look like it's got much oomph. We're below the EMA 21 for starters. This is all nice and red. It's looking a bit... But again, it is just an index of the total market cap without Ethereum, without Bitcoin, right? So it's giving you a picture. The picture is not painting a pretty one right now, and this could allow things to happen. So what could happen is Bitcoin could bounce, and altcoins may not follow it. If Bitcoin then goes into August or September and it has a bit of a crappy 2 months, which is kind of on history, which does happen, altcoins are going to get hurt quite a lot. And there'll be no all season. Alt season could happen due to Bitcoin going high enough and people rotate into it. But for that to happen, they've got to find new level lows, in my opinion. So that could happen. That could allow us going all the way down here. Yep, I know. You're all just turned off right now, and I know. But yeah, what's wrong with that? The reason why this level is important, because if we're going to do further structure, if we're going to go from this high to this correction here, pull back into the 618, continuous, this swing low goes into this 0.272, which is roughly around here. So we could be looking at 500 billion to 480 billion. I know it's an index, shouldn't really do TA on it, but ultimately it's a definite possibility. So yeah, a bit of fibception there. If I've lost you, check out the Learning Crypto links. And if I'm going to kill you even more, and I do apologize, look at what is happening here. This is the total 3/BTC chart. This is in a freaking horrible downtrend. And again, I talked about it in my previous videos that this level is going to act as resistance. If this breaks above it, I'll be probably a bit more excited, but I probably won't be because I don't think it's going to happen. If we're going to get a regression, we're going to continue going lower, which is not going to be fun. If we're looking at swing targets, we're looking at going down to 0.43% potentially, which brings us all the way down to the start of the previous bull market, which is a long time ago. So yeah, I don't think alt seasons are coming anytime soon. I do apologize. People are probably like, oh, but please, we have to break key levels, and those key levels have to be broken, and things are not looking good elsewhere. It's fine though. It's kind of the market metric, and I've talked about this before in yesterday's video. This time is not different. It's fine. We are following the 4-year cycle. That's good. But I think people got a bit too excited too early. Yes, the news is great. Yes, the Ethereum ETF is huge. Bitcoin ETF is actually really good. But we need the liquidity. That's not going to come just off a button click, is it? Let's be honest. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. I'm going to be doing some little changes to my video format. Going to make it a lot neater and tidier, certainly more with a full face. Hi. So yeah, if you enjoy, leave a comment, let me know. And yes, quality content incoming.